right, all right. Let's let me see what I can do. I'm going to adjust the... I don't know if this will work dynamically, but a little bit higher audio might be a good idea. See if that does anything. I probably won't. Wait, there. Yeah, maybe. A little louder. I notice everybody else has louder streams than I do. Or I'll go on my stream and I'll turn up my volume compared to everybody else. So okay, get back into it. Continuing on with some color. Feels like a decent skin tone. It's to be wobbly, huh? Wonder if it's better. I have no idea. sort of, I'm not sure why specifically, but I think the story here just calls for him to sort of be in an unarmored state or something. He can be vulnerable. Sort of in his underwear. Link has blue eyes, doesn't he? Yeah, well, we don't need to put those highlights in just yet. This is sort of fun. We get to pick whatever colors we want for the fairy. Pale skin. little messy right here. Okay, now I have to decide something. Because the lines of the bottle we have to just make sure everything's overlapping properly. Which is pretty tricky, but I think I can do it. Because her legs are still sort of in the bottle. Okay. Okay, and similarly, Link's thumb has to be on the far side of the bottle. Okay, the colors for the bottle. I think it makes sense to default just to some sort of pale blue. It's good for now. The monster itself is a kind of, it's a dead spider. Obviously he's killed it, but at what cost? He's very injured in the process, so. Maybe more like this. That feels good. And then the grass. I just have it as grass. It might be more like ground in the end, but bad. Okay. Moving on. in case it was never clear, this guy is this guy. Man, this track is awesome. I love these albums. Why are they so good? Alright, let's do some color sampling. See if there's anything to learn. Just looks like it's blue. Not a lot of info beyond that. Try sort of dark blue. And then something a little paler and greenish for the skin. Really gray, magenta. Could serve as a brown. Let's have a lot of gross contrast. Definitely something to look at. Maybe a little shoulder, some chest. Get a little sex appeal in there. So I had an idea in my head that these ruins would be a kind of neutral purple against a sunset. Maybe a little more pink like that. That's cool. The horse. It's of course just a statue. So get a little brighter. Okay, moving on. Okay, I think we can, again, borrow a lot of colors we use here for young Link. Save our work really quick. His hair could maybe be a little blonder or redder. As a kid, that happens, right? Hair colors can change over time. Cleanup needed right here. much, but definitely a little. Be kind of funny if it was a wooden sword, like it was just a toy. Yeah, keep it consistent. today, I'm actually booked on a job. And not just today, the entire week I will be working on a fairly substantial commercial campaign. If they're booking me for a week, there must be something to it where they're anticipating needing a lot of work done. That'll be interesting. I don't expect the job itself to be super fun, although at least I know and appreciate the people who have hired me. That's really good because they know I do a good job, and they'll be relaxed, and I'll be relaxed. And in fact, it's somewhat of a continuation of a already successful campaign. There's no real reason to fret other than every job is different, so there's going to be something that is difficult about it. Okay, this is sort of a fun philosophical question, but like, what color is a ghost, right? I mean, they're white, right? But are they? In any case, I feel like a yellow is not a bad substitute for white. Maybe I've got these sort of gouges here. And maybe in there we can have some variation. This almost reads as blue. That's intentional, but it is, it's just a paler version of the same color. Sort of indicating here that the ghost has a physical form, but not a typical form. It can be attacked and slashed, but it sort of just comes back and heals. Almost like a really fresh mozzarella or something like that. Just sort of, or you know, you're like stabbing at mozzarella, melted mozzarella. It just sort of flows back together and heals. We'll get that specular highlight in there later on. And then this can just be really rusty. Old metal. Glare from the light. Just giving it a color for now. darker than that. Just to venture a guess what that owl color is supposed to look like, but I think that does the trick. I'm like, I am streaming, right? Quiet chat, no big deal. Get more work done this way. Okay. Goofed up a little bit. Let's see if I can just back out. Probably not. Yeah, not meaningfully. Okay, no worries. Okay. That's fine. Oh, that's cool. What a cool song. This game was so traumatizingly hard. Hard to understand. Like when you're 7 years old, trying to figure out what's going on. You can barely read. So my goof there was, I've been drawing where I can remember. I'm trying to not actually draw on the same layer as these radiated fill layers, where there is all this sort of like pre-shaded shading design. I'm trying to preserve some of that while also, you know, using the fill data from that to apply flats. So I'm keeping them as discrete as I can by duplicating the layer and then turning it off. It's kind of hard to explain. It's not something that's super important at this stage. It's just, it'll save me some time down the road, I expect. Anyway, I expect that as a result of me having an actual booking, this week, that my streaming might be impacted. We'll see. I certainly can't do it as much during the daytime, and because I'll be literally drawing all day. I can see myself possibly being fatigued without much energy. So we'll see. It might feel like this drops off a little bit. That's my only point to make about that. So making as much progress right now on color. And like the coloring stuff is the it's sort of interesting because this is not the color. Like this is... It's hard to describe. I'm gonna sneeze. It's funny how turning off some of the glow effects on that, it actually felt like it made the light itself brighter. Because now the background surrounding it is darker, it has a better contrast. It's a bit of a mistake to have all these radiating lines flattened with the background drawing layer. Let me cut those out. Yeah, we're not going to hold on to those. Okay. Filled in too much. Okay, same deal. We're gonna borrow all of Link's colors from this guy. After we save our work. I'm gonna go make another coffee. If anybody's listening, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Oh, hey, welcome. Let me know if you have any questions. This is a, I'm making the leap to color, and it's not always intuitive exactly what I'm up to. But essentially I typically wouldn't color storyboards, but the broader goal of this stream is to more or less generate interest in my teaching abilities. So if I figure if I can demonstrate that I have a broad knowledge worth listening to, that might help overall. You don't have to respond, but I'm curious what time it is where you are. That is my roundabout way of figuring out where people live. "6 a.m. Alright, you can't be too far from me. I'm in Los Angeles. And it's 5:23 a.m. And you're listening to Zelda, a Piano Collection. Which I guess is just a playlist on Spotify. Because there's a lot of different artists and albums in this playlist, but now I'm curious if you're a Zelda fan. And you don't have to respond. I'm happy enough just talking to myself. You heard someone play classical Ocarina of Time medley on piano at a wedding on YouTube. But it was completely the original scores. I feel like it was a bit out of place for some songs. I like the Lost Forest song. But this playlist I feel would do much better. This is like a pretty mellow playlist. I'm actually okay with like not having... Previously, I'm not sure if you've seen any of the other streams, but there were definitely There's this Zelda and chill, I guess, or like lo-fi. I don't know. It's got like a, I don't know how to describe the music. Like I'm too old to really understand what the, and I'm not a musician, so some of the terms are lost on me, but I do, I do listen to, the piano stuff is frankly pretty new for the stream. Normally it would be like that kind of chill hop Zelda mix stuff, but I was listening to so much of it for so long, I kind of wanted to change. No worries. Oh, let's see here. I have 12 dropped frames on my end, but I'm not sure why that would be the case, other than sometimes if I save my work or whatever, it interrupts. Things are not perfect on my end. I need to hardwire my my setup. Frankly, I'm still very new to the streaming, or at least streaming regularly. I'm at the point now where I should be taking it more seriously, and it won't take much. I just have to. I have to crawl under my house and put a line of Ethernet into my office through the floor or something like that. Maybe I could route it through my closet. Ugh. I don't want to go down there. There's like spiders. Anyway. Well, you must be a Zelda fan if you recognized the Ocarina of Time playlist and understood the tracks that they were playing, whether or not they were appropriate for a wedding. I mean, I could see them being cool for a wedding, but... Or maybe like a wedding reception. Is this your first time on the stream? Do you know what I do? do you know who I am? I'm nobody, but I'm also a storyboard artist for commercials and advertising and video game trailers. So the whole concept of a Zelda movie has me intrigued. And I don't know if there's an opportunity to actually be on the movie, but even if not, as a general goal. Hi, Laya. Laya, how would you pronounce your... You can't tell me how to pronounce things, but would it be Laya Mao? Laya Mu? I feel like I have to give everybody a nickname. And it's Scroll Reaper's first time in the chat. Scroll Reaper, Laya is an insanely good artist. So good I'm jealous, and I won't be posting their I won't be posting links to their Instagram anymore because I'm burning with jealousy. Liam. Okay. That's funny. Welcome back. You can see, Liam, I've tried to make a little progress with some color stuff. And again, this is just like the flat color. I'm trying to crank it out as much as I can this morning. I mentioned it earlier in the stream, but I got booked on a job this week, so I'm going to be more distracted with paid work. Unfortunately, I can't put as much time into this. Like, this is my big push right now to get as far as I can, because the rest of the week will sort of be up as a big question mark. It's good. Well, it's a mixed blessing to be here. We don't need to see my giant face. Let's see here. Although it did apparently attract more people to the stream, so what am I going to do? Maybe I'll leave it up. The job itself is for it's for Meta. Meta. We all love Meta, right? The Facebook company. So it's they're actually decent clients as it goes, because they, you know what's so funny is tech companies, you know, are so smart, so they invade all these spaces and displace all the people who know what they're doing and replace them with tech people who are like supposed to be super smart, but they don't know what they're doing, at least as far as like entertainment and advertising and stuff. So they end up taking forever to understand. Yeah, it is good news, because I didn't work last week, like, at all. That's not good. But for the most part, I'm keeping busy during a severely contracted time in the industry, so I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to count all my blessings. Just because I'm off for a week, it's not the end of the world. I have friends who haven't worked in over a year. That's really hard. The audacity, the arrogance of people from tech just sort of it's like this is the wrong analogy probably, but it's like the House or Arrakis or whatever. No, not Arrakis. Who's the basically the all the off-world people who invade Dune, and but like they don't understand like the spice or where it comes from or what it is or how the worms make it, and it's just all about control. It's like stupid control. And that can be really frustrating, but my secret is that I bill by the hour, and these people change their mind 10 times a minute. So I end up being able to get long bookings and get decent sized invoices just because they make every mistake they possibly can up until the deadline, and then they approve it. And that's their genius business model. It is what it is. I'm very much against AI as well. I will tell you that a lot of this stream, like why I'm doing it, is I am looking to well, if anything, can demonstrate, hey, we can. What's been happening is it's so sneaky. The tech companies have been invading spaces, and just like they did with like NFTs and crypto, they basically sort of talk up these technologies like they're inevitable, and like, oh, as soon as, you know, it's just inevitable. Pretty soon people won't be able to do their jobs without them. So we we need to basically make it mandatory for people to use AI. It's the only way to compete in the future. Otherwise, you'll just get swept out to sea or whatever. It's utter bullshit. None of it's actually true. It is a great artist replacement technology in terms of like artists who would normally fill roles that AI replaces. Those are like entry-level artist roles, But once those roles are replaced, like, what do? Like, how do you make a living, like, as a young artist if you can't, get those early jobs? Like, oh, I'm a, whatever. I don't know. Prop designer? I don't know. Like, I feel like the AI tech, all of that is like, it's super interesting. I definitely find it it's like the most like way more interesting than like crypto and NFTs. I find it to be like probably the more interesting thing that anybody's done with a computer in like 10 years. It's not that I don't love. I hate that companies have decided to sort of retroactively dictate what was appropriate to do with the data that people, commonly put out there. There's a lot of really bad faith arguments for and against, and all I can say is, while I encounter AI art constantly in the jobs that I do, directors and unfortunately even producers are using Midjourney and the like on a daily basis to create reference materials and essentially replace the need to hire artists and or wait on artists for their contributions to projects. The purpose of this stream is to demonstrate how artists do not need AI to do their job. And anyway, AI is like, that's like, I don't know, it's not impressive to me to like, to like be like, oh, I used AI to do something. That's like saying I used cheat codes to beat a video game and being proud of it. It's like, no, that's not the point, dude. It's supposed to be fun, man. Okay. A little too bright. That's closer. And then we need some of these gross darkening, and then lightening. Oh, what happened there? Jeez. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a color genius, but here I'm sort of whitening up the knuckles a little bit. And then I remember from the original design of the original design of the this giant hand. It's called the Wall Master. It sort of drops down from the ceiling and grabs you in the game. I've got these gross veins. It's just sort of this giant severed hand that stalks you throughout the level. Just to clarify, I've been training in art for 5 years seriously, and 5 years before that more as a hobbyist. I believe in honing the blade and skilling up, learning how to construct anatomy from memory, but you're right, it does feel like using a cheat code. Yeah, I use it to see how I might light my art, for instance. Yeah, but I don't mean to cause negativity by speaking about it. I'm not a believer in posting art made by AI and claiming it as my own. I think that's the greatest. That's a great take. The reality is, it's like over-reliance on any reference is a bit of a crutch, so I don't encourage people to, if anything, it's like, if you have to, use it. If you don't have to, don't. I don't know. It's like, yeah, sometimes you need help, but where you don't need help, you don't need to tap into that help. Otherwise, you'll atrophy those skills instead of building them up, right? It's like if you want to get really good at winning marathons, it's like you gotta run, you gotta do the hard work. If your idea of winning the marathons is crossing the finish line before everybody else, then you can win marathons by ducking around a corner, calling an Uber, and taking it straight to the finish line and sneaking across it. Well, I think I've seen news headlines like that, and it's like, that'll get you across the finish line. It's not going to impress anybody, and if you are lying to yourself that was anything to be proud of, like if your entire goal is to just get, clout, and by any means necessary, then using AI is a great way to do that, because you can essentially fool people who are ignorant of whether or not they are looking at something that was artificially generated. If it's disclosed, then, I don't have a huge problem with it. But don't go like, it's like microwaving a meal and telling somebody you cooked it from scratch. It's like, don't lie. It's so cringe, I remember I used to heavily rely on Liquify to fix out-of-place eyes. I'm guilty of that too. Not so much anymore. When I stopped using it, be more strategic with how I drew and positioned things. Yeah. It's important to explore, like, whatever can get you where you need to go, I guess, but, like, don't use the crutch as the solution. Alright, that looks fun and gross. Okay. Cool. not sure what this statue should look like. You all probably couldn't guess, but the original... Here, let's pop up... Because this will be interesting. Like, this is one of those statues in the original game that breathes fire, like it shoots fireballs at you. Of course, in this drawing, there's nothing of that. But in this rough sketch, so these are the original rough sketches I did for these compositions. And so you can get a sense that, like, in this scene, it's going to be like flames in the foreground, explosions in the background, huge particles flying everywhere. Right, there's like a lot left to go on these compositions. So this is just like the, you know, pre-render. Yeah, where it's like these are like primitive. Yeah, Link to the Past. That's my favorite one. I was 11 years old when that came out, or when I was playing it, maybe 10 or 11. So these are the original sketches. You can see the, you know, lots of energy. So like this one, you know, it's like we have to pass through this corridor of boringness. Oh, it's getting a little cut off there. Yeah, here we go. So you can see. Here, I'll do the big version. We don't need to see my lovely face. All sorts of different. These are all the rough sketches, but you can see I did all the posing and all the compositions and all that stuff was done roughly. But you know, you don't need AI. You just follow the steps. Don't skip steps. Or, you know, skip them if you have to, but... Okay. Something that feels like stone. Spend a lot of time just finding good real lighting situation, rely on real references as my main tool, and of course YouTube tutorials, and I love Richard Smitherman's work. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know that name. Squirrel Reaper, you might enjoy seeing my coloring process, which will be the net, like, obviously right now this is like cartoon color, but I have a coloring process that is pretty good. Richard Smithman. Okay, yeah. Here we can pull. Looks like a good artist. Good artist. Do you like figure study? The, you might like my figure drawings. We get to, I get to plug. I get to plug my figure drawings as much as I want to. This is my figure drawing page. Absolutely. So these are mine. Anyway, check it out if you want. The right up here. Here. This one, axe draw form. Axe _ draw form is my figure drawing one. On Instagram. I'd love to do that stuff here on Twitch, but the whole naked people controversy. I do have a Twitter, but I'm not sure what it is about Twitter, but when I post drawings of naked people on Twitter, it flags them and basically shadow bans me or something, because I don't know, because I'm not paying for it, and you know, it's a little absurd in my opinion. Instagram is the only place. Don't follow me on Instagram if you don't want to. There's no big deal. I'm gonna find a different place to actually post my stuff, because I'm fucking sick of social media. Like how, you know, they scan everything for AI shit, and you know, are too. Oh, and I tried to put my my figure drawings on Kara, and those get flagged as nudity like immediately. See, the problem is I draw so well that it recognizes that, hey, that's an exposed breast. This must be pornography. It's like, no, it's not. This is art. God damn. This is really frustrating. Because while I, you know, want to applaud the meaning, the message of what Kara is trying to do, it's really frustrating to not be able to post artistic stuff like figure drawing, you know? Yeah, they should change things. Scroll Reaper, if you have a Kara or Twitter, you can post it here. I'm curious if you feel like sharing your art. That's kind of what I like to encourage here, and you don't have to, but if you do. I'm still sort of new to Twitch, but what I'm trying to do is get a decent following of like artistic people, as opposed to just perfectly random people who don't care about art. Here we go. So this is a repost, so that's not you, but this is you. So this is great. Repost. You're reposting too many other people's works. Okay, this is cool. Time lapse. Okay, well, I'm glad you're working digitally. Just because it's just a little easier to share art. You probably follow Liam and you don't even know it. You're ooh, adult content. I'll click this one later. This is good. This is fun. Oh, Okay, so it's an awesome emote. This is cool. I can tell what's yours and what isn't. I like this pose. Whee! Well, I think you might like my stream. You only posted one. Most of your stuff's on Twitter. Okay, here, I'll follow you on Twitter. All right. Now I follow you on Twitter. But I'm not that active on Twitter, so if it feels like I'm not liking everything that you post, it's don't take offense to it. I posted a bunch of these Zelda drawings on Twitter, and like because one drawing had like a little bit of exposed fairy cleavage. It's not in this set, it's in like another set. It was like, whoa, freaked out, and it's like I can't get away with anything. All I want is to post my art, and I can't do it. Yeah, that was actually pretty good. Here. Maybe a little darker. Here I am trying to light a background that we're not even really going to see because it's going to be absolutely lit up with fire. So it's a little silly. It didn't show up on the notifications. Maybe due to the shadow ban or something. Yeah, I think I did. I think I committed two carnal sins. I posted something that could be mistaken for an exposed breast, and I posted too many things like too quickly, and it just sort of like, hey, it must be a bot or something. It's like here I am trying to like actually provide content, and I get flagged for like whatever, you know. But anyway, I'm glad you're taking art seriously, and this is oh, I forgot to say. This is I want to this goes for anybody who's listening. The and nothing against Richard Smythman or the guy you were mentioning previously, but this guy is the guy. Dude, look how old he is. He's native, or not, I don't know if he's native, but he lives in my area of LA, and he's this is the guy. Like, this guy, I've been to his, this is someone doing a study of something, of his technique. It's hard, these days it's like impossible to actually find the artwork of the person, because people just do studies and then the algorithms suck it up. But the Glenn Vilppu is his name. I don't know if it's easy to see. But this is the technique that I use. And this is a in conjunction with like foundational life drawing. This is like imaginative figure drawing. So you can basically use these techniques to then develop your ability to draw without a model entirely. And you know, it's not necessarily like gets you to photorealism, but you sort of like put the hard work you put into during figure studies can translate to actual good drawings if you do them the right way. Yeah, this looks like they might be right. It has to do with like understanding the rhythms, and when I was young, I don't know if this, yeah, that's not him. That's people studying him. This is so interesting. This looks like it might be him. Glenn Vilppu drew this in my sketchbook. This does look like him. He is, like when I was young, in my early 20s perhaps, I was really struggling with like, well, how do I get really good? How can I be like that guy who, you know, can just draw it all from his imagination? I just figured, people just don't do that. They must look at photos. They have to, right? But I went to his class one time on my mother's recommendation, because my mother is a storyboard artist and worked at Disney for a long time. She was like, you gotta go to Glenn Vilppu's class. He was my teacher. He should be your teacher too. You gotta at least see this guy do his thing. And I went and I saw him, you know, and we had a model in class, and, you know, people were doing the studies. And then he went over to this chalkboard essentially, and he wasn't looking at the model. He wasn't looking at anything. He was just drawing whatever he felt like drawing, and it looked like Michelangelo drew it. I'm not joking. It was insane. And he was demonstrating how, and this is something I try to do in my figure drawings too, where just from the energy of the single line of a line of action in a pose, you can derive the rhythms that give way to the abdomen, the thorax, the pelvis, then the thighs, then the knees, then the heels, then the toes. You know, it's all in there somehow, and you can tease it out. If you're not in a rush, you can tease it out, and it actually happens pretty quickly. Glenn Vilppu, yeah, but yeah, that would be the guy. If you can stand to have a little patience to look into his stuff, and I would recommend, he does sell a book that is that's pretty good, and it's not expensive. I would look into that. That is a great way of sort of shortcutting to some of the techniques that I use when I'm doing my figure drawings. In like when I'm inventing poses, like all these poses and these inventions. You know, I didn't look at any photos. Yeah, I didn't look at any photos to figure out these poses. I looked at photos of like Link in his costume to understand what his costume looks like. and I looked at the character design of these guys, but their poses, the acting, like, you know, getting a sense, like this solid sense of anatomy you get in this guy, that was all drawn from the imagination. And it's because I studied and like pay attention. Like this was drawn from my imagination. I didn't look at any photos for it whatsoever, except the original, like really cringe, original art. Yeah, here we go. This was the reference I used. I used this reference to draw this guy, right? It's because I knew all this stuff. I knew, you know, I knew how to make him look tall. I knew all the perspective. I knew the anatomy. I knew the drapery. You know, all I needed to know was like, oh shit, I need to make these straps white. Yeah, it looks like I got a little lazy with some of my coloring here. We'll go back and fix that later, but... Anyway. But also, you should know that that level of like being able to draw simply from your imagination without any reference and stuff, that's extremely rare, even in like hardened industry professionals. It isn't cheating to look at reference photos. It's just not having to rely on them, I think, is preferable. So you can be confident of where your skill levels are at. Like whatever, like you know this, you're just honest with yourself and honest with your audience. It's like this is my work, or this is my work and I used these references. Okay, let's draw the ground. Now that I have people in the chat, I'm drawing super slow again. Let's make that. Yeah, that's fun. That's a different color. I'm trying to surprise myself with like colors that like I wouldn't normally pick, but in Zelda games, like the Zelda games are actually really colorful. So in order for them to still read as Zelda, I feel like I have to honor that a bit. Okay, I think that'll do for now. Wow, it's getting really slow now. I rewatch videos of figure drawing and construction at 2x speed and just repeat certain areas. So like right now I'm stuck on the abs, pelvis, and chest connections. So rewatching construction methods around that. I'm always interested in seeing different perspectives. Cool. Man, what is happening? Something is being slow on my system. Let's sort of close out a couple of things. Anyway, I hope it's not messing up the stream too much. Huh? Maybe it was that that stupid site I was just looking at. Anyway, no matter. Zelda as the Hero game is coming out. Yes, I did see that. I'm excited about that because I have a 7-year-old daughter who is interested in video games. And I feel like that would be a great title to sort of get her excited about like real gaming systems. I feel like there will be a Zelda as the Hero Breath of the Wild game that will come out. Well, there should be, yeah. I think it's cool too. Uh, it's been a long time coming, but the Zelda as the hero is a natural evolution. I feel like the time, like, man, Nintendo really does a you know, that chic transformation. Yeah, these are like fun, like cool, cool concepts. Like somehow Zelda still, or you know, the Zelda games always stay fresh. Mario and Zelda. It's Nintendo's like an amazing company. It's I'm like I should be working with these people. Also, I really appreciated they made a big statement about like Nintendo and AI are on opposite sides of the philosophical spectrum. Like we don't want to use AI. We don't want to use anybody who uses AI. We're not going to have any AI in our games. AI, as far as we can tell, is the opposite of creativity, and so I really was applauding, you know, those announcements. Yeah, especially when so many companies were doing the opposite. There's really only been a few companies that I've noticed that have had the balls to take a print. Everybody kind of just wants the easy money right now, and I guess companies have to do what they have to do, but it's been very frustrating for me to see so many um people. It's like the dark side. I'm like, ugh, don't do that. It's all good. I whatever. AI will probably be around as a factor in everything from here on out in the world. I'll be okay with it, but it's a it's just hard to see what will happen to our it's too soon, right? It's like it'll take time before it's too much change too quickly, and the evolution is so speedy. I mean, in a few years, it might competently do storyboarding and other types of things. Gosh knows they're trying to make it do that. Luckily, the work I do is super hard. It's like a crazy puzzle. It's impossible for people to figure out. Making a 3D character portfolio, plan to hop in the industry, make some money, hop out, and do some 3D printing. There you go. Make comic books, man. That's awesome. Are you kind of going the self-taught route, or are you enrolled in any formal classes or courses online? I came up during the time when digital was drawing digitally was a new skill. A lot of artists who were doing storyboards didn't really draw on computers, and so that was sort of a good way that I was able to differentiate and break in when I did. Oh, cool. Okay. You have a good mentor for 3D. A long time ago, I was into 3D. Long time ago. Like in the 90s. Mostly still learn all the things through tutorials. Thanks to him, he pushed me to really work on any cracks in the surface. Well, very cool. Who is this mentor? No, you don't have to. You don't have to say. The I've developed a great respect for like 3D generalists, CG generalists. The amount of knowledge those people have to keep up with and absorb far outpaces what I typically see professional artists dealing with. There's a real competitive grind set that I think 2D artists like me, can learn a lot from. All the skill sharing and the innovation really impresses me. That's why it's moving so fast. You know, that those kinds of technologies getting better and better and better. Comparatively, like 2D art, it's like moving at it's barely evolving at all, as if it somehow peaked or whatever. I don't know if that's the case. But like 3D artists think of modeling and shading and lighting in a way that is far more advanced than most 2D artists. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. It is a good idea to study that discipline as well as drawing. I feel like those skills can and will translate. What color should this bow be? Maybe something... The bad guy is going to basically be purple, so maybe something that can read as golden when it's done. I notice I have a better attention to form from working on 3D. I lose motion when I stay away from 2D and eventually lose anatomy skills, not working on figure studies. It's tricky. It really takes a long time. Even if I do anatomy and study in 3D, I think the repetition of drawing the body quickly really sticks it in. Yes. something about figure drawing where, especially like, I hate to say it, but like in person, like you're in a figure drawing setting, because when you're drawing, when I'm figure drawing from home, like from a photo or whatever, it's too easy to like cheat and I'll just give myself a couple more minutes or whatever. You know, before you know it, you're spending like an hour on a drawing, and that's not the point, right? You're supposed to, the thing is to like really develop the intuitive sense of like drawing without thinking, like really make it intuitive, really make it instinctual. Tap into that emotional part of your brain that draws with feeling as opposed to rote logic. And I think that's really important. Let's see here. So this is the bad guy right here that I'm drawing. This guy is this guy. Oh, you have yet to do a real in-person study. That stuff is like drawing on hard mode. So this was the reference I had to draw this. So I'm looking at it right now for color reference a little bit. It's a little complex. Here, I'll take another screenshot. I of course have all these saved in a different folder, but sometimes it's easier just to pull up search and just look it up. Yeah, the unconventional angle for me on this is this. I think I will make it like one of my favorites in this series. I believe it. I loved it when I drew it, and I love it now. It's kind of badass, you know? To ask earlier when you mentioned making storyboards for video games, mentioned Zelda movie. Have you seen the Studio Ghibli style Zelda on YouTube? Well, is it made with AI? Because if it is, I've probably seen it and I hate it. No, it's all 3D. Do you have a link? I don't. Do you have a link? Yeah, see if you can find it. Certainly curious. Yeah, the color is way too intense. There we go. It's a little better. Ah. Let's see here. I like to live dangerously by clicking random links. Are you sure this isn't made with AI? Oh, this looks cool. Oh, it's 3D. Interesting. Well, these look like matte paintings. I'm just being honest. They look like paintings. My music is interfering. It's using like the same music I'm using. Wow, 7 years ago. Oh, there's a full fan film. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh my god, leave me alone. All right, here we go.
Imagine the world of Zelda Ocarina of Time and the visuals of Studio Ghibli together. I will show you 4 different environments I created in Unreal Engine.
This will be too long for me to watch the whole thing. Let's see if it... Okay, this looks like 3D. Interesting. I feel like that is a little bit of the... It's definitely cool to see people... How old is that? 8 months ago. Interesting. I mean, all the energy that gets put into these things is really exciting. I'm a Ghibli purist. Like I want the Ghibli to be Ghibli. It's a Ghibli inspired fan film, but it looks like a video game. I don't know, just like make the video game if it's already in Unreal Engine. Yeah, I agree. Some of the earlier products are like ripe for a remake. Like, I don't know if Link to the Past can be improved upon, but I'd love to see like more in that style, right? Let's bring back some music. Yeah, it's recording some dropped frames here. I've had 0.1% dropped frames. Not sure what that... 160 dropped frames. But I've been doing this for a few hours now. I don't think it's that bad. But I would assume that if there's problems, they're not necessarily on your end. Unless you're like doing a ton of stuff. Have you reduced the FPS on OBS? It usually defaults at 60 and the bitrate. I've tried reducing that. My bitrate right now is at like 1200 kbps. I could lower it. I think I'm honestly still trying to find the sweet spot. I have another setup at a remote studio at my parents' house. I have children that I take over to my parents' house on a regular basis for babysitting. And when I do, so basically my parents can watch my kids while I work. And so I have a setup in my old bedroom there. And that has a more stable internet connection and frankly a slightly more powerful computer, or possibly a more powerful computer. Yeah, this needs to be different, I feel. Let's make this go like that. I don't know if I can reduce bitrate on the fly, but I'll take it under advisement. There's lots of, like, the whole stream right now is pretty suboptimal. I got a new camera, so I didn't have to use my cell phone, but I don't like the way the camera's making me. It's like highlighting all the greasy spots on my skin. Bitrate, huh? Well, it's like at like 1200 right now. It feels already pretty low. I think as long as I'm not playing other YouTube videos on the yeah, it's low already, so maybe I update OBS, maybe there's other settings I can tweak, but I'm not going to be too precious. It's like a big, scary plant alien mouth. So one of the goals / the FPS is supposed to be at 30. Yeah, it's at 30 right now. One of the quote-unquote goals of the Zelda drawing project is to create a portfolio of art that I can at least have. I can give it to my agent and say, hey, see if you can get me staffed on the Zelda movie, and if it's too late for that, then get me on the sequel. So hence the fan art. It's that's a kind of spec work. Yeah, that's like that's my goal, The real goal is to here's my real goal, is what I've discovered is and I absolutely do blame AI for this, is there's now this sort of assumption that artists and art in general are seen as a technological problem to be solved and not a creative one, or that the creative process is something that technology is here to save the. It's like, move over, creatives, tech is here to save the day. No longer do you have to pay artists to solve your problems, your creative problems. You can just be tech executives licensing software solutions to creative endeavors. It's extremely disheartening, and it's and what that has done to me, like in terms of my because I used to really, like, obviously I can draw well, without patting myself on the back too much. Like, I'm making a living in LA. That's hard enough to do, but I'm actually doing a good job of it. And I've got a lot of clients, and there's, a good reputation, and the jobs that I get are pretty good. And they're, I didn't have a lot to complain about work-wise before AI stuff started coming around. And now, even if it's not replacing storyboards yet, there's just this sort of like feeling like the people who hire me, like, I used to sort of reflect that, like, hey, they enjoy working with me and all that. And now I sort of wonder, I'm like, is it that they enjoyed working with me, or they actually just felt like they had to pretend to in order to get the work out of me so that they could, do whatever. And yeah, it's really disheartening that as soon as it looks like there is a viable replacement for artists, like is as if they couldn't jump onto that possibility fast enough. Now that technology may not bear out. Like, its ability to solve story problems is not necessarily, at least visually, is that remains TBD. But there are like Adobe is trying to make a AI that does storyboards. Other companies are probably trying to do the same thing. I see new apps all the time that are like, oh, this is a new AI storyboarding app. But then I click on it and I'm like, okay, this doesn't actually do my job. It just might convince people that it does the job. But that's sort of the thing, is like, a lot of companies are going to get sucked into, giving those programs a shot. Like, oh, it's good. Hey, instead of hiring Max, let's try this new app. And if they feel like it does a decent job, even if it doesn't, if they feel like it does the job they want for the price they're willing to spend, it could replace me. And a lot of these projects are, I don't know, I get the feeling, and I'm still getting hired on stuff. Like I said, I'm booked this week. There is work. But if there's not enough work to sustain an industry of people like me, like let's say I'm working, but no one else is. Well, I can't alone make up an industry. And in fact, like, you need a lot of people to actually make an industry. So it's like there's a threshold of survivability. Like, when they talk about like wild, like wolf populations in the wild or whatever, like, if they're down to like, there's only like 10 wolves left on a whole, nature preservation or whatever, is that enough to replace the dying population? It's like it might not be. You have to. It's like who knows? Who knows how many there can be? I kind of want to make this a red tongue, so I'm gonna do it. Gonna do it. We can only hold our breath for so long before everybody just dies. And right now, the amount of work out there, it's just not enough to keep everybody afloat. Even really good people. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm mad and a little disenchanted with my career. Not my career as I've had it, because that was all good. But looking forward, I just don't see it. You know, if the attitudes have changed so fast in so little time now, I can't imagine them being better in the future. It'll just be like even more so that the people who hire artists will just be like, do we really have to hire an artist to do this? Couldn't we just do a plug-in or something and then go straight to 3D? It's the unfortunate reality. One of the reasons I want to make my manga games 3D printing business and push for solopreneur. That's my angle as well. Not the manga stuff so much, or the games, but but I don't like I feel like if I can, you know, whatever. If I don't need like one client that pays me $1,000 a day. If I can have 1,000 followers that, you know, it's a stretch, but like they pay me $1 a day, it's the same money, right? And you know, so I'm making that like the side goal. That's the goal, is like create like a side hustle where either I just have people curious about me, my art, I put it up, people give me like $1 for a tip or something, you know, I don't know. But I'm like, one way or another, artists, we age out, we then become teachers. It's a natural thing. And so I'm just trying to get a little bit ahead of that right now. It's like, okay, well, I can do this online, I can reach a worldwide audience and, you know, give it a shot. So especially for the past 5 years, for the first 3, I was really starry-eyed for the art industry, but the past 2 years really put the clouds in the sky. I think there can be still a application for fundamental art skills in the industry. I really do. But it's really hard right now because the AI thing is so sexy and they're really shoving it so hard, and they're lobbying and they're doing all the evil things that the tech companies are doing. And until it becomes clear that like consumers are repudiating, like by and large, consumers like want nothing to do with AI slop. It's just, you know, you wouldn't go to a nice restaurant to pay for microwave food. But that's what they're trying to do, is, you know, sell the regurgitated processed shit as somehow high quality work. It's not interesting when like, it can be interesting, I guess, but like no one is gonna want to really pay to see AI shit. And if they do, they're idiots. You know, I'm sorry. It's a lot of the cool AI can make really cool images, but saying that is worth something as a matter of course that's not really how art works. And if it is, then it shouldn't be.
but I don't judge. Like if you have AI references and stuff like that, don't make that like I'm like, oh, don't do that. It's just I love that in your art I could tell that you weren't tracing, and I don't see anything that looks like an over reliance on reference in the work that you were doing. So I applaud you for that. Like you're really applying yourself to have a personal integrity about what you're doing. I think it's extremely important because you can, once you get comfortable lying to yourself and other people about where you're at, that's a slippery slope, and that always is bad. It's just always bad. Good, yeah, do that. Hone the blade, master those skills, and I'm not like a master colorist or any of these things. You know, if I'm an expert in anything, it's storyboarding commercials. That's what I have a 20-year career doing that, but you know, no one pays me to do color. A lot of this stuff is stuff I feel like I know what I'm doing, but I'm not an expert by way of people paying me on a daily basis for my color work. We'll see whether or not it turns out to be worth paying attention to. I just think there are different levels of mastery, like a 1-degree black belt versus a 5th degree. Yeah. I'm going to go another 10 minutes, and then that'll have to be the solid stream. The realities of the morning are catching up. I have to essentially give my kids breakfast, and I have a son in preschool, and then my daughter is hanging out with her friends today. I got to get ahead of all that. So just 10-minute warning. Let's see here.
This track is cool. Yeah. Ooh, I'm getting chills.
It's kind of cool. Fun pattern. Reminds me of a sea slug color pattern. Yeah. Oh, yeah? Sea slug, huh? Oh, yeah. Kind of cool. A lot of different options. This, I'm trying to think of them as the texture of like an artichoke. Like artichokes have like those layers that's like spikes and stuff. All right, let's see if my stupid alarm has caused problems. Yeah, now it's playing through that. That's not good. All right, the mic still seems to be working. Yeah, still figuring out some of these bugs. And I think it's a good time to call it a stream. I'm going to save my work. Scroll Reaper, thanks for keeping me company. I will try and be back again for an early morning session tomorrow. There are limits to my ability to be as regular with this stuff as I want to be. But I'm highly motivated to, as soon as I can, push out color on these remaining images. I don't know if you saw this one yet. It's pretty cool. But the goal is to really start getting into sort of getting the color treated and then lit, which is its own thing. And I kind of think of that more like a 3D modeler might. That could be something you might be interested in. If you want to, you can follow, or just find me randomly or whatever. But I will try to do this as a regular thing during the early mornings. And then if work is not busy, then I do it maybe later again at like during the normal daytimes. Normal for me, at least. All right, well, I'm going to say that'll be it. If I can, I want to still try to bring back this music. Will that work? Will this work? Yeah. We'll see if... Okay, hopefully it's playing right now. Pop by another time if you like. Come see the progress. And then, in any case, the @Study Studio Max on the Instagram list is where I post the Zelda stuff. But you're not on Instagram, so don't worry about it. But for anybody else who might be listening, that's where I'll be trying to update. Okay, I'm going to call it a day. Thanks so much. Everybody have a great Monday. Adios.